Hello, hello. Okay, let me invite just a moment. Okay, I want to make sure this is working. Hold on one second. Let me check. I don't see the timer going. Let me just make sure. Okay, it is working. I had to check it from my phone. Okay. All right, well, everyone, welcome to the live stream launch party. Yes, this is the party. I am the party. It's just me here. I came over to the office because I wanted to be able to devote my undivided attention to you all because my children are home and you know that can always be a distraction. So I came over to the office, which happens to be down the street from where I live. I am based here in Fort Washington, Maryland. I realize that we have quite a few followers from all over the world. And let me first start off by saying thank you to everyone that actually followed the page, liked the page, people that have been engaging with the few comments that I've made. I haven't posted any videos yet. I haven't really posted a lot of significant content. Right now, I'm just kind of getting the ball rolling. And this launch party, the purpose of it is for you all to get to know me, know the mission of the Diamond Lab, know the inspiration of the Diamond Lab, understand what it is and what it isn't, and clarify some things because I've been reading each and every comment that I get, and I want to make sure that I respond to people's questions, concerns, confusion, because there has been some confusion. For example, there have been some people, I don't know if there's a language barrier, but there have been some people that actually think I'm a company that sells diamonds or manufactures diamonds. And I thought that was kind of funny. And so I just want to make sure that I go over what the Diamond Lab is, who I am, and what I'm trying to do basically. So again, I'm Charity Barrett, and the Diamond Lab is basically, out of everything that I've looked at online, because I feel like we just get bombarded with all of these programs and coaches and books and all of these small business development programs and self-help programs, these different seminars and expos and just all these different things where people are trying to tell people what they need to do to be successful in business. And it's just a lot of it out here, and it's really hard to like separate the ones that are good from the ones that are not so good. For me, I really didn't, when I went into business, I went into business to be in business. I'm a businesswoman. I run actual brick and mortar businesses. I have been doing that since I was 25 years old. And in doing that, I reached a certain level of success. And when I look at a lot of the products and services that other people are putting together and selling, and things that, a lot of guarantees and promises of, you know, increasing your sales by 50%, growing your company, you're scaling 10x, you know, all these different things are being promised to people. And it makes me wonder, gee, they must really have something magical, because in my experience, the main thing that makes a person successful in business is working hard, learning how to work smart, and consistency, and having a good network. So I'm wondering, what is it that people are actually selling other people? And doesn't mean that it's not working, but it makes me interested to know what kind of things are people telling people for them to think that they can become a successful entrepreneur. Some of the things that I've been seeing are things that I question, because anytime someone makes it seem like it's actually going to be easy to start a business and be successful, anyone that is talking that way, I would love it if it was true, but that's not been my experience. And so with the Diamond Lab is going to be reflective of what my experience has been. And that is that it's not easy to start a business. It's not easy at all, and it takes a lot of work. It requires a huge commitment of time and effort and energy and resources. And when you have these different coaches and programs actually telling people, if you do this, this, and this, you will be successful, I just think that that's a little misleading at times. It's a hopeful approach, but maybe I'm more cynical. I like to tell people, if you do X, Y, and Z, your chances of being successful may increase. But there is no cookie cutters approach to teaching someone how to become successful. It really is, it's more of a custom, tailored made approach when you're trying to work with someone or mentor someone. It's ready? Okay, sure.
She said you could take it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm actually going to transfer to the conference room. I had one booked, but there was someone else in that one. So I'm going to ask you guys to bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back. I had to adapt. Which is what you have to do in business sometimes. I had booked my conference room and it was locked. I couldn't get in. Thank God she was here. Okay, let me move my stuff over. That's great. All right. By the way, while I'm here, I might as well give you a little tour. Let me turn this camera around. I'm here at Perfect Office Solutions. They have 7 or 8 locations, and I have office space here, and we are able to actually use it at all the locations. And I'll tell you more about some opportunities here if you become a member of this organization. There will be some benefits that come with the membership that will help solve people's problems with office space. So this is in the Fort Washington location. This is one of the larger conference rooms. I'm just going to close these doors. Okay. Ta-da! Okay, I'm back in my favorite room now. Okay, so I'm not sure how many people are watching because I'm looking here on my iPad and I don't see the counter and I don't see the amount of people that may be in the group, but I'm going to continue forward. So the Diamond Lab, me and my concern about what I've been seeing, that has been the inspiration. And also I'm working with a lot of different teams over the past 13 years or so. I've worked with a lot of different people, and I live in a community that's pretty affluent. with regard to African Americans and minorities that are doing business. But I noticed that a lot of people are struggling with entrepreneurship. A lot of people they have ideas. They would like the opportunity to turn those ideas into a reality, into a business that's actually making money, but a lot of people don't have the resources, and that's why it's very difficult for them. Make sure my camera's up. I'm sorry, this thing is kind of new, so I get confused about where the camera is because it doesn't show it. Okay. All right. So basically, there are people who want the opportunity to go into business, and a lot of people are afraid. They don't know if they have what it takes to make it. They're not sure they're going to have the support that they need, and that can be really scary for some people. That doesn't mean that person is not cut out for entrepreneurship. It just means that they may need some support, and so that's what like the notion of an incubator is, a business incubator. If I had to use one word to describe what the Diamond Lab is, I would have to say it's an incubator, but not in the most traditional sense. It's an incubator as far as taking in companies that are in their startup stage or in their very early stages and trying to help give them access to resources that would help them have a greater chance of succeeding. Now, this is the difference, and I don't know because I have not looked long enough or thoroughly enough to know how many other people are trying to do what I'm going to do. But what I'm trying to do is create a micro small business incubator where it's for the type of businesses, I mean, it's for a variety of businesses, but it's really going to make sure that we fill that gap for the businesses that are not necessarily looking to scale on such a large level that they're trying to prepare to sell to an investor. They're not necessarily looking to build a company up and sell it. They may want to build a company and keep it in their family so that everyone in their family in their local area has a job, or it's just like a part of the legacy, creating generational wealth and those kind of things. We really need to make sure we don't overlook those type of business owners. You know, the businesses where down the street you have a restaurant, your favorite mom and pop restaurant. Those are business owners. And if they're surviving, they are business owners. What about the people who have the potential to be a barber shop, a nail salon, someone that may be a hair distributor, someone that wants to open up a child care center, an assisted living home, do Airbnb? There are so many different type of small businesses that we take for granted that are in our community. We don't really understand that those business owners need support too. And they don't all want to end up growing and franchising and selling, because honestly, if we continue that approach in this system of capitalism, it leads to monopolization. And so there are businesses that it's okay for them to stay kind of small. It's okay for you to not strive to be a billionaire or multimillionaire or even a millionaire. You may be very happy just to be self-employed, paying your bills, employing a few people in your community, and maybe possibly securing the property, or you own the property. Could be a number of different type of goals, and we need to change the way that we're looking at business owners, because they're all different type of business owners, and not everybody is trying to like take over the world, you know, or to capitalize on every last dollar or maximize. I mean, it might sound counterintuitive for most of my traditional business people who may be hearing this message and think that I'm crazy, but what I'm trying to say is that the small businesses in our communities, these storefronts and different things, the services that are being provided, they're very important. We don't want to see those disappear. And I'm not sure what kind of community you live in or where you came from, but I live in a community and I came from a place where it turned into a ghost town because it was just such, the economy took such a hard hit. It became a ghost town, empty storefronts, a lot of poverty, just, and how nice would it have been if it could have just been a nice little local convenience store there, a nail shop, a dry cleaners, a child care center, a church. Like, that's industry. That creates a sense of industry and community. But what's happening is when people who are real good with business and their objective is to make as much money as possible, and they're trying to do an incubator, they're going after the tech companies. They're going after the people who they see a lot of potential in for huge growth. And that's fine. That's great. I would participate in that. But I also think there needs to be something for the people that do want to keep their businesses in their communities, in their families, pass them down, keep them small if they want to. Those business owners deserve support too. And also, the people who are trying to get into business, a lot of times people just give up because their idea of success and being a real business person, they have this idea or this notion that you have to be a millionaire or those kind of things, but that's not the case. Now, I have achieved a certain level of success in my life, but my journey is not done. I have still a long way to go. And so part of what I want the Diamond Lab to be about is authenticity. I don't like gimmicks. I'm not a public speaker. I really don't even like coaching people, but I know that I have a story to tell. I know that I have knowledge that people could benefit from. And I know that if I create an organization that promotes people coming together to help one another and they care about their communities, I know that that could be helpful to me. I know that can be helpful to other people. And so basically, I just want the Diamond Lab to be authentic. What I'm going to be doing is tuning in live at least a couple of times a week, and I'll be so we'll have different levels of membership, okay? Because oftentimes I've been doing this with people for free. And I've actually had people tell me, especially my best friends, are like, Charity, you're undervaluing yourself. You really could be selling your knowledge. And I'm like, oh no, I don't need to do that. I'm not in the business. My business is not being a business coach. My businesses are a variety of different businesses that have nothing to do with making money off of teaching people how to do business. But then I got to thinking and I was like, you know what? There are people that could benefit from it. It is a bit time consuming when you're trying to work with people to give them the knowledge that you've gained over the past 13, 14 years. And so I just thought, well, maybe if I do it in a way that's efficient, I can still give people knowledge and they can still pay something affordable to become a part of a community that they can use until they don't need it anymore. That's where the idea came from. It really was my best friends trying to convince me that I should tell my story, that I am worthy, I am successful enough to tell my story at this stage of the game. And so I decided to take their advice and do that. Now, the way that it's going to look may be a little different than what they imagined, because I'm here to tell you it's not going to be like rainbows and unicorns. It's not going to always be this party or, the way you see some of these expos and a lot of the MLMs and different companies. They create such a warm and friendly atmosphere, one of excitement, that it makes people feel good to be a part of it. And you get in a room with hundreds and thousands of other people who are all amped and pumped up and getting motivated, and they're being given good information more times than not. But then when the event is over, then what? That's the part that I see when I'm actually in the community, in the trenches, building businesses, working with people, employees, partners, potential partners, collaborators. I am seeing that a lot of times the people still don't have the tools, or they're not doing what they need to do to be successful. So it's not gonna be a party. This thing is not, if you become a member, you can establish some good relationships. You can get some good advice. You're going to learn things. I'm going to teach you shortcuts. I'm going to teach you how to save money. one thing about me, I'm a young Black woman. I know a lot of my peers, we are the masters of learning how to make $1 out of 15 cents. Imagine if you give us that dollar, what we can do with it. That's what I'm here to tell you. I've learned a lot of things along the way to be able to make it work. And I want other people to learn how to make it work too. Okay, but some of us just don't have the resources that we need. If we were given just a little push, it would help us. Some of us might not need money, but we might need encouragement. Some of us might not need encouragement, but we might need knowledge and a skill set. Some of us may not need that. We may need the money, or just we may need a partner. We may need just maybe 1 or 2 other people with the common goal to work with us. In the Diamond Lab, those are the things that I'm hoping that members will get out of it. They will have access to me, and depending on your level membership, that will dictate how much access. Because of course, yes, I'm going to spend my time, but I can't do it for free. Because I'm a businesswoman, because I'm running other businesses and I'm active and I still have to work. I really can't just sit back and kick my feet up. I still have to actually function as a CEO. I can't just sit behind a computer. I don't have all passive streams of income, and even the passive streams that I have, it still just requires that there be some work that's done. So I do have to charge people for my time. But I tell you what though, I was a part of an organization and it was awesome, and I feel like it helped to change my thinking as a business owner, because up until that point that I joined that organization, I really thought I had it going on. I really thought that I had reached nearly the peak of my business career, I guess. When you're the person in your community that, feels like, it looks like you are doing well, you can get a false sense of security if you are comparing yourself to people around you who have less than you or who know less than you. It's not good. By joining that organization, and I paid $2,000 annually for that membership, and we met once a month for a few hours in a boardroom similar to this. And just for a few hours, you got to sit at a table with multimillionaire women who are running companies that are grossing a minimum of $1 million annually, but some of them were 10 million and some were 50 million. It was like 3 levels basically. And the people who were were running companies of 50 million gross revenues annually, they were called Zenith members. And I could just be sitting right next to one of them and hearing the way that they talked, the things they were talking about, the ideas they had, the advice they had. I learned a lot. It was invaluable what I learned spending time with those women. And so I wonder, the criteria for getting into that organization, I'm not going to say it was impossible, but one of the criteria was you have to have basically been running a company that grossed at least $1 million annually. That was like the minimum threshold for eligibility to get into the in that organization, because they were trying to be selective, and each chapter only had 20 people, and those people could not be in the same industry. And it was just a very good experience. But the only problem is I knew people in my community and where I was from that they were very smart, they were running businesses, but they were nowhere near getting to a point where they would have been able to get into that organization and get the experience of sitting in that room and being able to hear from other people who were at a higher level than them. I really think that's very important. So with the Diamond Lab, I feel like it won't be a spinoff of that. It's going to still be comprehensive and different. It's going to be more than just a monthly meeting, but it's going to be an environment where we're still going to be selective about who we let, in, who the members are going to be, but we're not going to, the threshold won't be as high, because with the threshold that high, you're going to miss a lot of talent and potential people that could be powerhouses, but maybe because of just certain circumstances, their background, their community, their mindset, for whatever reason, it may have been very difficult for them to figure out how to get to that level. But with just a boost and people encouraging them and telling them things, I feel like they could get to a different level. That's what I want the Diamond Lab to be for people. And the good news is that I love the ladies. I love the ladies. I love my sisters and everything. But there's been a lot of female empowerment going on lately, and that's great. It's wonderful. But I feel like I still want to have the best people in the rooms, not just the best women in the room. I want the best business people in the room. And I want to encourage other men, young men, to get into business. So this organization is not exclusive to women. It's not exclusive to African Americans or minorities. However, because that's my background, and I understand a lot of the struggles that come with trying to pull yourself up as a double minority, this program is going to be sensitive to people that face those type of issues and some of the unique circumstances that come with that, basically. However, I believe that we need to be inclusive of our men. We need to be supportive of our men. We need to, we need to empower one another, and we need to learn to start working together, because men and women, I feel like, complement one another when they're healthy. I feel like they complement one another. And so this organization is inclusive of everyone that is serious about trying to start a business, serious about trying to get to the next level, and people that are teachable, people that are groomable, people that are willing to do the work. And so I think that that's what I see for the Diamond Lab. And it's not going to be for everyone. The Diamond Lab won't be for everyone, and we understand that, and that's okay. So let me make sure that I've covered most of my points, and then I'm going to open up for Q&A, because I see we have a couple of people in here, and I want to make sure that if people go back and watch this video, they'll get to see some of the questions and how I answered those questions. So we talked about what is the Diamond Lab and the inspiration. So let me tell you some of the companies that I'm working with to build teams. Some of them have been established for a while, and some are in the new stage of development. But we have my first company, Progeny Enterprises Incorporated. We have under that umbrella, we had Peaceful Life Assisted Living. So we had 3 assisted living homes. 2 of them are still operating. We have 2 Airbnbs. We're working on a 3rd. We have Perfect Angels Learning Center, which is a commercial child care center. One of the newer ones is actually Progeny Private Equity Partners, venturing out into private equity, which is part of why the Diamond Lab is good, because if people are members in the Diamond Lab and they are actually doing very well and they're showing a lot of promise, then those will be the people that when we have our pitch competitions, they can have the opportunity to enter into partnerships or collaborations with other business owners. And one of those companies is my own company, because I'm always looking for good people to partner with. So that's Progeny Private Equity Partners. And one of our newest ones is Good Note Capital. Good Note Capital is a small business lending company that I've started, and I'm building a team of people so that can be a strong company. And we're going to be issuing small business loans to subprime borrowers who otherwise would not get financed by conventional loans, conventional financial institutions. I'm very excited about that, because I'm big on finance, and you will see that if you become a member, you're going to hear me talk about finance a lot, financial literacy. I'm going to share as much knowledge as I have, and I'm always getting more knowledge. So as I gain knowledge, I'll pass it on. When I come across good videos, if I take a course, if I'm reading a book, I'm going to share that information with my members and let them know what's good. Let's see, we have Snidget's Creative Corporation. That is a multimedia franchise, and it's very, very early stages, but it's doing very well, and the content went viral within a couple of weeks. Most of the videos go viral, actually, and now we're up to about 1 million viewers each week. So that's going very well, and we have a team that we're working on with that. And let's see, what else did I leave out here? I did Business Builder Basics. I did this months ago, and I called it the 30-Day Boss Up Challenge. I went live every day for 30 days and made sure that people understood that if you're really serious about getting started in business, you have to do something every day towards your business. And I wanted to show them that I was going to be right there with them, showing them that I was building businesses along with them. Now, a few months after the Boss Up Challenge, people see the businesses that I was working on materializing. And I think it's important to be able to not just, it's good to hear from someone like Warren Buffett about like how he got rich and what he does, but I also think it's good to have access to someone who is also in the stage of building, and you're able to get a front row seat to see how that person is building a business, and you can actually be right there alongside with them, figuring it out with them. I think that's an excellent way to help people to learn how to do business, because it makes you more relatable. And as you face challenges, you're facing them together and you're coming up with solutions together. So that Boss Up Challenge was great. Glow Construction, I've had minimal involvement in that, but that's one small collaboration that I had when I was trying to help make sure that there are a lot of unlicensed people that are trying to get work, and they do quality work, but they're having difficulty passing the exam because of either language issues or just learning disabilities, various reasons, but they're still good, they do good work. So trying to collaborate with contractors and bring subcontractors under that company, that has been something that we've been collaborating on. Another new venture is going with a jewelry company and a couple of other things. I've helped quite a few people start bed and breakfast out of their home using Airbnb, and they have gotten amazing results, and they are loving their disposable income level that they have now. So just basically, I want you to know that I am not a person who's going to sit here and try to tell you that I know how to get you rich off of sitting behind a computer and not doing anything or doing very little. I'm here to tell you that if you want to be in business, there are still things that you need to do. You may actually need to do some work. You may have to get up out of the house and go and get your hands dirty and work with other people and sacrifice things. That's what I'm here to talk about. So let's see what we have here. You said, hey, I've been a one-woman show for years and I've been making good money, but I've had trouble trying to scale up my business. How can I accomplish this? Okay, well, I know this person very well, actually. All right. Of course, I would need to know a lot more of the details, but of what I know of your business, I have a lot of ideas. For instance, so this is a Good Hope tutoring service, correct? That you're speaking of with the one-woman show. Right now, if you feel like you have a valuable service that you're offering, but you're the only person that's really offering that service and that quality and guaranteeing the quality, there are a few things that you can do now that we have technology that you could scale your business without it becoming very stressful. You could go the traditional route like Sylvan Learning Center, where you hire tutors, they work for you, you have all the, you provide the place for people to come, or you provide the platform that people are going to actually provide the service. That's one way. But another thing you could do, you could consider, subscription services and memberships are like really popular now. A lot of people feel like they would rather pay a little bit every month than pay a lot per hour for somebody's expertise or service or whatever it is they're getting. So possibly maybe coming up with something like a membership based, almost like prepaid legal, where you have, if you have students that need ongoing help, they pay monthly and they get access to exclusive online content, perhaps tutorials. You can do like maybe short 5-10 minute videos on the subjects that you're tutoring on, give people access to that, workbooks, different things. You can sell products online once you build a following. And anytime you're doing a service where you're like working with children or even like just teaching in general, a lot of people are willing to get behind that once they know that you're really doing the work. So if you show on, if you do a business page and you show what you're working on and you get amazing results and you want to share that with the world now, like I feel like if you were a part of the Diamond Lab, I would help you develop a strategy to make your service go beyond just what you can do with your time. That will basically get you more results, because if you're only relying on yourself to provide the service, then you are going to be limited. And if you try to rely on other people to do it, then it's going to be a little more difficult, because it's a lot more moving parts when you have to worry about employees and brick and mortar and those kind of things. And so I can definitely think of quite a few ways that you could benefit. We would just have to develop the plan. One of the first things that I'll do when someone enters as a member is determine what your goals are. And once I know your goals, your lifestyle, how many children you have, if you're married or not, where you live, what country you're in, all those things. Once I know, I'll let you know if I feel like I can be of assistance to you, because I'm not an expert in every industry and I still have a lot to learn in general. But of what I do know, if there's something that I can offer, I definitely feel like the first step is to come up with a strategy. And I feel like I'm very good with strategizing, always thinking like 3 and 4 steps ahead. I feel like that's a skill that I have that I think people can benefit from if they have access. So hopefully I will see you following up, because I'd love to be able to work with you on that. Do we have any other questions? I know that we had a lot of comments and engagement, and I want to address some of those things once I know that there are no more questions being asked on the live stream. Let's see. Make custom-made jewelry and people love it and buy freely when we have live vending, but our website performs poorly. What would you recommend? Okay, so the first thing is, how old is your website? Who made your website? Is your website, like, how does it look? Do you have the best pictures? Do you have anything catchy? And also, how are you doing your marketing? What is your digital marketing game looking like? Who's handling that for you? Are you doing it yourself? Is it not getting done at all? Because, see, it used to be a way that business was done years ago, where once you got your website up and going, for the most part, like, you were pretty good with, like, once you could direct people to your page or tell people, yeah, go to, my website. You didn't have to do a whole lot, but now, it's a lot of competition and there's a lot out here, and things are changing and websites are changing. And so if you had your website built a while ago, it may not be as compatible with what people prefer. People now have a tendency to want to do this. Now, this is scroll thing. It's almost like it's just, so when you have friction on your website, meaning anytime you have to press a button and wait for it to load to the next page, that's friction. People like the least amount of friction now. People like to just be able to stroll, basically. So make sure your website is able to do that. Make sure that your website is doesn't have any misspellings or any kind of issues. The other thing is, you can come up with because it's a lot of jewelry. It's a lot of people doing jewelry. And so you want to make sure you are differentiating yourself from the rest. So I'm not sure exactly how you would differentiate yourself. But I think that you need to consider, depending on how your sales are going now, you may want to like establish relationships with local boutiques, see if they will become distributors for you, where you can have your merchandise there. You have to be organized and keep track of it and make sure that you know how much inventory you deliver. And when it's time to come back and collect, you need to make sure it all adds up and give them a commission. You can also try to attract, there's like a company called $5 Bling. Not my cup of tea, but I think it's a great idea because a lot of people don't like to spend money on a lot of money on costume jewelry. And so, but it's like they turned it into like an MLM for jewelry, and it really blew up, just like Mary Kay and all those kind of things. I'm not an advocate of participating in MLMs, but I am an advocate of creating them. If you are the creator of the MLM, I think that's great. You might want to consider getting distributors who will actually go around and sell your product, and they get a commission for it. And if they find other people for you who also will sell your products, then they can get a commission of what they get, but they have to manage those people that they bring in. You could try something like that. I also heard an idea at a pitch competition I was at, and they were looking at subscriber service for jewelry. It's like, you know how like Stitch Fix and some of these curated clothing and fashion and everything is very popular, where people are having things delivered to their homes and people are like picking out things and styling for people. You could actually do that with jewelry. Maybe have it where you can, the lady's idea was that you can like send the jewelry, and it's like almost like a library service, library card, where you check out a certain number of books, and then you have to, before you can get more books, you have to turn in the other books that you had. Doing that with jewelry is kind of a new concept. I had never heard that before, and I thought it was interesting. She did not win the pitch contest, but I still thought about that idea quite a bit and wondered, like, could that work? Because there could be a market for people who actually want to have nice quality jewelry that is, you know, maybe pretty expensive, but they get to wear it a few times, but then after a few months, they turn that one in for another set. You might have membership levels where you can have 3 sets out at a time, or maybe 1 set out at a time. You may have someone that wants to turn it in because they're going to a formal event and they want to really get something very fancy, but they know they're not going to wear it very often, but they want to be thrifty. So I can think of a lot of ideas of what you could try to do with jewelry, but you definitely have to distinguish yourself. And I know I've talked with you before, and you had an idea about like letting people design their own jewelry online, like a simulator of some sort. And I think that's really good because being able to customize things is much easier with these apps and everything that they have now. Customization is really popular now. So if people could look and see what you have, and you give them like the different crystals or beads or whatever you have, and they can like actually design their own things. You can give them little templates, or they can do like their own design. And then once they create it, you all actually do it and send it out to them. It's a lot of things you could do to be different. I think I could be helpful to a company like that with coming up with some ideas and a strategy. But if you wanted to keep it simple, I would definitely start with the website and see like what type of website do you have. Is it one that doesn't fit in with today's vibe, basically? Are there any other questions? I have invited quite a bit of the new people who were following the page to, I was encouraging them to really tune in tonight, because I really wanted people who have concerns and questions and want to know what I'm all about. Like, this is one of their opportunities to be able to talk with me and ask questions. Because this is in the development phase, and I'm not trying to be real gimmicky, and I wasn't trying to make a big business out of this, I was going to keep it simple. just want to let people know, hey, I'll set up, a legitimate company. You all can, feel comfortable making your payments and everything can be organized in that way. But as far as having like this module 1, module 2, step 1, 2, 3, and this course and that course, that's really not what I think is going to make people a successful entrepreneur. I think what they're going to need is to be checking in routinely, making sure their strategy is correct, making sure they have access to capital, making sure that they have access to people who can that they can outsource certain things, but for an affordable price. Those are the things that I think people are going to need. I was really hoping that some of the people that were very confused about what the Diamond Lab is going to be, I was hoping that they would definitely tune in so that they can ask their questions. However, I recognize that whenever you put yourself out here now online, you have to be ready for the criticism and the blatant insults and people just being utterly ridiculous. I had someone tell me, they said, may God have mercy on my soul, because he thought that I was trying to sell diamonds, like blood diamonds, and that my company was an actual diamond company that is contributing to strife and brutality. And I don't know. It's an analogy, people. It's an analogy. I even had someone, I think I made a comment about, I said that diamonds were rare. And I had someone come on and they said that diamonds aren't rare. And they were correcting me on the process of how a diamond becomes a diamond. I had studied it a little bit just to make sure that my idea and the analogy kind of could fit kind of loosely. But this person was like so specific, and come and find out it was like they were a geologist. I was just like, okay, wait. I'm not a geologist. All I'm doing is creating an analogy. And the analogy is that not so much that diamonds are rare. Finding a naturally occurring diamond on the Earth's surface is rare. Getting a naturally occurring diamond requires very hard work. And for that diamond to even form into anything, it doesn't even come out looking great. That still has to be a man-made process to make it look brilliant and polished and all of that. But for that diamond to form, it takes so much time. It takes so much, how it has to shoot up through like a volcano, and it has to be like so hot, and then all of a sudden get real cold, and the conditions have to be just right. It's like really complicated. So the whole concept of the analogy is that, that process is real hard, right? But guess what? You can make diamonds in a lab in a much easier way, much more quickly, if you just have the people in the lab, the right environment. All you need are a few seeds of the carbon or graphite or whatever it is. You need a few seeds of the real material, and you put the heat on, you put extreme pressure on it, and you leave it in there a while, and you take it out when the time is right. That's how you get your man-made diamond. So the point is, a lot of times people feel like, if you're a millionaire, you're like in the top, what is it? I don't know, 3%, 1%. I've heard all different types of statistics. But basically, they're trying to say that if you become a millionaire, you're rare. You're rare, basically. You've probably gone through some things. You probably, you may have been born a certain way, or born with certain talents or skills or whatever, and you probably went through hell to get there. That's the naturally occurring diamond. But the Diamond Lab is letting you know, maybe you don't have to be born that way. Maybe you don't have to go through the struggle. Maybe with just a little bit of help in the right environment and the right tools, you can get your diamond. You can be a diamond too. And guess what? The lab-made diamonds are usually of equal or better quality. They're usually the type 2B diamonds that come out that have like great clarity, brilliant, like all of those things. They make for better diamonds, and they are the same. They have the same molecular structure as a naturally occurring diamond, but yet it was no inhumane kind of stuff going on to get these diamonds. It didn't destroy the earth. You know, it wasn't digging up tons of stuff, moving tons of rock and all this stuff. It's just a lab. It's just a place where people come and they plan to come together with the right tools to make something beautiful. That's what the Diamond Lab is. That is the analogy, people. Please. It's not literal. So I don't sell diamonds. What I'm trying to do is help cultivate a millionaire mindset in people who may not have otherwise had the opportunity to get that type of assistance. That's what the Diamond Lab is. Okay, let me think. What were some of the other things that I saw? Okay, I had one person say that, you know, he didn't trust these people, meaning the Diamond Lab, me. He didn't trust these people because he went to the diamondlab.net and saw that it wasn't even a real website. And so I was like, okay, so there's two things happening here. One, the website is www.thediamondlab.org. That makes a huge difference. If he had put that in correctly, he would have seen that the website is under development. When I say I came up with this idea with my best friends and I decided just to go and do it, I just went and did it. And see, that's part of the process of when you're ready to start a business. You can't wait for every single thing to be perfect. Oh gosh, I have to wait for my website. I have to make sure all that's done. I have to make sure this is right. I don't want anybody to... No, get started. Get started. You can use a Facebook page to start your business. You can, a lot of times people are out here putting money into websites and all these different things because of what they think they need to start their businesses, and they end up wasting a lot of money. The business may not do half of what they thought it was going to do, and now they've spent all this money, and that's not necessary sometimes. You can use a free Facebook page, create your business page. You don't have to have a website. You can try to do like a pilot of your program or your business and see if there's any interest in what you're trying to sell. And once you see that people are liking what you're talking about, for instance, this page went live roughly 3 days ago and now has almost 12,000 followers. Doesn't matter how much money you pay for ads. If people don't like what you're talking about, they don't like your post, they don't have to press the heart button or the like button. They don't have to comment or make positive comments. They don't have to actually follow the page just because you paid for an ad to place it before them. And so the kind of response that I've gotten from the Diamond Lab has been overwhelmingly positive and supportive. And I think that's great. But however, you are going to have people that are skeptical. And you know why? A lot of people are skeptical because there are so many people that are selling things and they're being unauthentic. You have a lot of business coaches that they're teaching you how to do business, and that is their business, and that's the only business they've ever done, is the business of teaching people how to do business. I'm not trying to knock anybody, but what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people don't trust that. You know, now what I feel differentiates me from most is, number one, I am in that top percent of high net worth individuals. HNWI is the acronym, high net worth individual. I am working my way towards being an accredited investor as recognized by the Securities and Exchange Commission. With the properties that I have and the valuation of the companies that I have achieved millionaire status. But I'll explain more about that in some of the live streams we do after that. Being a millionaire doesn't mean you have a lot of money all the time, though. No, it could mean that your assets can be tied up. They're not liquid, basically. They're not like in the form of money in the bank. But even still, millionaire is a millionaire. And when you achieve something like that, be proud of yourself and realize that you have accomplished something that about roughly 97 to 99% of the rest of the United States did not accomplish. And so you have to think about, well, I don't feel like there's anything that's that different about me than other people that I know who are smart and everything. It's really just about work ethic, in my opinion. And so I'm just really trying to teach people from what I know to do of how you too can maybe not become a millionaire, but even if you just get into six figures. I have a lot of people in my community who can barely find a job at Home Depot. Like, they're actually talking about getting a hookup from somebody they know to hook them up with a job at Home Depot. These are my people. This is my community. These are the issues my community is facing. And so I do feel qualified to be able to help people who want to do better than that, who want to have a little more than that. So some of the things that I can help people with, if you are in the local area, there are a lot more things I can do to help you. For instance, giving you housing. If you're young, if you don't have children, you want to try to start a business, but you're worried about your living expenses. I've been known to put a roof over people's heads, to give them an opportunity to try to go into business or to partner with me or do different things. Funding, access to inventory, equipment, office space. So if you're actually in the DC metropolitan area, Maryland, DC, Virginia, I would highly recommend you considering one of the higher level memberships, because you would be able to benefit from a lot of things, and I could probably help you in ways that I couldn't help people that might be over in like Africa, or there's one place I met a lady, I forgot where she said she was from, but it was, something I hadn't even heard of. And then somebody else is from Australia. And I was like, hey, I have to be honest. I don't know about the laws or the rules of those countries, but the best I can do is try to help you with your mindset and to give you some ideas. But basically, if you're local, I definitely think I could be very helpful to the local people. And then if you're in the United States, there are a lot of things I can help you with as far as like teaching you about digital marketing and how to research. Teaching people how to research and find knowledge is definitely very important, because a lot of people seem like they don't know how or they don't want to. And so I would be somebody that would be on you constantly about making sure you're doing your research and that you're getting the information so that you can become very knowledgeable about whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I think that I've covered most of what I wanted to cover. Let's see, were there any other crazy comments? Experiencing the troll thing, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I have to be honest, I was so aggravated, and I said, oh, this is why I don't even like doing stuff like this. But then I say, you know what? No. I've prepared my whole life to be able to deal with people like that. And at some point, you just become unfazed, and you realize that some people have nothing better to do than to try to tear other people down and be negative and not want to see good things happening for people. They want to second guess everything. And I'm glad actually when people reveal that, because I absolutely will reject their application. If they were to apply, I would reject their application. The wonderful thing about the Diamond Lab and what I'm doing here in my particular situation is that I'm already running businesses that are sustaining me and helping me to grow. I don't need the Diamond Lab itself to be a huge income generator. It just needs to pay for itself, but I don't need to make a lot of money off of that. And so I'm not desperate for sales. I'm not going to pressure people or make promises to people and everything. I'm actually going to be selective. You know why? Because who you work with is very important. Your peace of mind is very important when you're trying to like make power moves out here. You do not have time to get tied up with negativity and distractions and people trying to like throw you off, you know, and that's going to continue to happen. But that's the wonderful part about the Diamond Lab, is that because I'm not pressed to get every dollar I can get, I will actually turn people away if they are not a good fit. And I'm going to do that for my own peace of mind. And I'm also going to do it to protect the peace of mind of my members. Because I know you all have been a part of groups where there was no kind of criteria for entry into the group. And you notice that the conversations in these groups just get kind of ridiculous. That's what I don't want to happen in the Diamond Lab. You know, I don't want that. And that's part of why I have 3 different level memberships. The most affordable level membership is the $19.99 per month membership. Then you have a $29.99 per month membership. Then you jump up to a $79.99 a month membership. And the reason why there's a huge disparity for that one is because that marquee diamond membership level is for people more similar to that organization I was telling you about earlier, where it costs like $2,000 for the year, and you're only in the rooms with people that have achieved a certain level of success. Because the conversations in those rooms are going to be different than the conversation in rooms with people that haven't gotten to that level, and so on and so forth. And so what I want to do is make sure people understand, if you pay for the higher level membership, you're going to be in a group with people who also understand they're paying for a certain level of exclusivity, and they want more time, and they also are looking more so to find partners and collaborate and have a board of advisors that they can actually meet with and spend more time with, really like getting their business to the next level. That's the membership level where you're not going to be teaching those people how to do articles of incorporation or teaching them about what a trademark is. People that would be at that level would be people who have already figured those things out, but now they're trying to figure out what's next. It's like, okay, I've made $1 million. I'm trying to now gross multi-millions every year. That's that type of group. The $29.99 a month membership is for people who have a decent amount of knowledge about how to get started with basic things, but they're just going to need a lot of help and guidance to get there. The $19.99 membership would be for someone that's never really done business before. They haven't even started, or maybe they just got started. They're a sole proprietor. They don't know what it means to be incorporated. They don't know if it's better to be an LLC, a corporation, or, you know, they have those kind of questions. Where do you get your tax ID number? What is a trademark? Why is that important? That's the $19.99 per month membership group, because that information is going to be very basic, and I'll be able to give them a lot of my time in a group format. But the higher up you go, that's when you actually will start to have like more direct communication with me, one-on-one, and those kind of things. And actually me considering at some point, okay, you no longer need to be a member of the Diamond Lab. You now need to become a partner or preferred partner, where you're not paying to be a part of the organization. You actually are now partnered with me or some of the other people at that level. You're going into partnerships and creating more businesses. So I think I'm trying to create something where there's a little something for everyone, basically. I think that it's definitely more affordable than a lot of the other organizations that I've seen. I mean, for instance, my son, he's in college, and he's a part of a fraternity, and their membership dues are $500 for the year. And I was like, okay, they expect students to be able to pay $500, or students' parents to be able to pay $500 for them to belong to a fraternity or a sorority. And that's perfectly fine, because guess what? What people are going to pay for what they value. right? And so some people will be like, why would I pay, $19.99 to be a part of an organization just as, what am I getting exactly? Like, what are they going to do? What am I getting? And if I asked you that question about why you have a Netflix membership or a gym membership or a golf membership, would you then understand? See, the people who know the value of these type of organizations, it doesn't require any convincing. Those are the people that we want to be a part of the organization. You can ask your questions and you can make sure that this is a good fit, but it doesn't really require convincing as to why you want to invest in yourself. You want to invest in a network and make sure, that you understand you have to pay to play sometimes. So like I said, $19.99. I may be doing an early bird promotion, like for people who sign up by the end of August. I'll probably do like 20% off just to show my appreciation for those that are willing to be like founding members and be there from the beginning. I'm definitely going to, I'm not trying to hit people's pockets. So like I said, for what you would spend at Starbucks or your a little more than your Netflix monthly membership, Hulu, Lord knows your cable bill, I know I'm coming in lower than that. I feel like if you are really trying to get your business off the ground and you are facing unique struggles that come with being a double minority or just being not having a trust fund or access to capital, and you really feel like you need help, I feel like there could be value in this group for you. But you do have to invest in yourself. You do have to pay to play. So, but I do intend, what I'm sure of, because I know my worth, is I'm going to add more value than what I take. Okay? And you can cancel your membership anytime. So there's that too. So I think I've spent enough time. Let's see. Yep, it's 9:37. I said I didn't want to go much over an hour unless I have people that have questions. But I wanted to try to be as thorough as possible. I want you all to get to know me. I did try to dress up and look nice for you today, but guess what? When I start tuning in live, most days I look like trash. I look like garbage most days because I'm busy. There are some days I'm going to go live and I might be over at one of my facilities that's being renovated. You might catch me painting, you might catch me doing something that's really what a lot of people would feel is beneath a millionaire, like, no, I still work. I still work. I've not arrived. I'm not where I want to be yet. And I still do a lot of hands-on things. Hi, Debbie. Hello. So I still work. That's what I want to show you all. It gets on my nerve. And I mean, I'm not saying that the people, if anything wrong with it, but it gets on my nerve when I see people that are these business coaches and they're dressed up. They have their full makeup on. They have the lashes. They're posing, leaning up against the wall, smiling, promising you that if you buy their book or if you do their program, you're going to get rich. And they're just looking so beautiful and they're happy all the time and they're smiling. And it just makes me feel like, what's wrong with me? Because that's not my experience. I cry sometimes. I don't feel well sometimes. I'm in a bad mood, sometimes because I'm busy. I didn't have time to get my toes done. I don't have time for yoga. I need those things, but sometimes I go without eating. Sometimes I pull all-nighters and don't sleep. So the kind of things that I'm going to tell you that I've done to get to where I am, let me put a disclaimer on it. It's not necessarily the healthy thing to do, but for me, that's what it took for me. And I don't know, when I see other people that make it look sexy, I'm just like, well, what did I do wrong? Why has my experience not been that way? And it makes me question, is that really how they were able to achieve what they did? Maybe they were, and hopefully I can encounter those people and I can learn something from them. But right now, that has not been my experience. It's going to be some really hard things you're going to face when you're self-employed. You are going to want to quit a million times. You are going to want to fire everybody. You're going to want to fire yourself. You're going to think that you were not born on this planet. Maybe that you somehow mistakenly got to Earth by some accident. You're going to feel just completely alienated. You're going to feel like everyone hates you sometimes. You're going to wonder what's wrong with you. Were you born broken? How come you're able to put business before your family needs sometimes? Why are you so driven? Why are you never satisfied? Why are you so competitive? Why? You're going to be, all these questions, you're going to be fighting with yourself and wondering like, what is wrong with you? I want to be the person to be here to tell you, you're special. Embrace those things. I know they're not pleasant, but figure out how to embrace those things and just know that maybe that's the indication that you are special. Maybe that's an indication that, you know, you might have what it takes, and it might just not look great to other people, you know, especially if you're like a mom or a wife, you know, because I don't cook and clean anymore, not because it's beneath me, but because I'm too tired to do it. I don't feel like doing it. You know, after you've worked all day and you've been thinking critically all day about how to solve problems and get to the next level and putting out fires, to go home and cook up a meal, sometimes it's just too much. You're going to have to eat ramen noodles sometimes. You're going to have to grab that hot dog. You know, when you have children, you have to be careful because they do need to eat. But sometimes when you pay attention and you realize that your children have eaten McDonald's, Taco Bell, and hot dogs for the past couple days, and you haven't really thought of a green vegetable that they've seen in the past week, you want to beat yourself up at that point. Those are the moments that people face sometimes. And if you're a part of the Diamond Lab membership, I want you to feel comfortable coming into your group, sharing those type of stories, getting feedback, trying to understand how to work through those things. And I always like to tell people, my married couples, I always let people know, wherever the health of your marriage is, if there is a marriage health score, 100 being the greatest, wherever you are when you start your business, when you're in build-up mode, usually your marriage will drop some points. Your health score might drop a bit. Maybe not forever, but your health score will drop. So it's very important to make sure if you're going to go into business, make sure you start at a high level so that your marriage can withstand a drop in score, you know? Because if you already like this and don't know, you're not sure if you can spend the rest of your life with this person, and now you go into business and you're trying to grind it out, it may be a deal breaker. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to tell you what I've seen and what I know can be the case. You're going to have to make some sacrifices sometimes, and it does not always make you win on all fronts. So I just want to have these kind of conversations with you all. And not just that, because I don't think these kind of conversations are worth $19.99 a month or any more. But the good things, I promise you, I'm going to share some things with you that you didn't know. I'm going to point you in directions that you may have never heard of before, like crowdfunding and different things, you know, equity crowdfunding versus regular crowdfunding. It's so many things that I've learned that I'm ready to share with you all. So I think, you know, that will help. Part of some of the membership levels will include like document review, review of your business plan. And when you do get a membership, you automatically get a free business health assessment. So when you sign up at some point, you're going to get a questionnaire, and we're going to do like a consultation where I talk to you about your business and like who your team is, how long you've been in business, what are your annual revenues, ask a whole bunch of questions and get an idea, and then give you feedback on the health of your business and if it's worth continuing or changing your strategy or, you know, that kind of thing. If you don't have a membership and you don't want a membership, or you're not sure, but you do want a health assessment, then you can actually purchase that separately. And I'd be happy to do that for you. If I do a health assessment for you, and I come back and I say, hey, there's a lot of work you probably need to do if you want to make this work. That might be a deal breaker for you to make you decide you want the membership, or you may go somewhere else to get the help that you need. But those are some of the services that I can offer you. So be on the lookout for the page, the Facebook page, the Instagram page. They're in development. The web page is in development. I was told that for the type of website that I want, it's going to take about 20 days. So hopefully, you know, they do what they say they'll do, and we should be up and running with the website. I do have an email, and that's info@thediamondlab.org. Okay, so you can email, you can message, and I'm probably going to get started maybe about a week. I'll give people a time to let this sink in and let the word spread. I'll continue advertising, and right now I did an ad. Facebook has this ability to run an ad that gives you like an application where people can apply. They can push a button that says apply, and it generates leads, and you can request people's phone numbers, addresses, email address, and different things, and you can ask them questions. And then when you go to Facebook, you can actually like get that information, and it'll be in the form of a data, like an Excel spreadsheet. You can take that, and now you have all these leads for people who read your criteria and your information, and then they decided they want to apply. And so already I have close to 80 applications I have to review, and that's a good problem to have, actually. But I want to review all those applications, and I want to give more people time to hear about this, because when I start, I at least want to have about 5 people to form each group. So just think about that. If you think you're ready to get on board, just keep on coming back to the page, follow the page, make sure you check us out. I'll be posting different things. I'll be going live. I'll be doing a lot of articles so that you can like read things that are 2 to 3 minute articles that are very informative. I'm going to try to do a lot of original content, my own writing, and not just sharing other people's content. But just be on the lookout. And also I'll be doing polls. I'm looking for feedback. I want to know what you all as entrepreneurs feel like you need. What are the things that you've been experiencing with different organizations or coaches that you did not like, and you actually, you know, don't want to go through that again? I want your feedback, because this organization is supposed to be for you and not just for me. And it's not just for me to make $1. Okay, the good news is I'm already making the dollars. I figured out how to do that, and that's what I want to share with you all. Okay, so if there are no more questions or comments, I'm going to let you all go. I'll wait a second and see if we have anything pop up. I may have to go live again at about like 12 or 1 a.m. because I noticed that about half of the following is actually overseas. So I want to be fair to them and make sure they get a chance to ask their questions, because a lot of the applications that came through, about half of them were from overseas. I looked at the addresses and they were not even in this country. So I need to reach out to those people and make sure that there's something that I can do for them. But I want them to have the opportunity to see me go live, which is not a problem. It's perfect because I'm a night owl and I oftentimes stay up very late. So I should be able to get in touch with my people overseas and give them a fair amount of attention as well. But thank you everyone for stopping in. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you're excited and interested in giving it a shot. I'll be happy to try to work with you and do whatever I can to help. Okay? All right, so I don't really have anything like gimmicky to say. I think for the Boss Up Challenge, I used to say boss up, but you know, I don't have anything gimmicky. Just have a good night, and I will see you guys. Stay tuned, all right? Bye-bye.